So this question has come up, and I just need to talk through it a little here. Marketing, branding, specifically, that area of marketing. A mark or a logo, a slogan or catchphrase, corporate colors, fonts. They are important as a part of identity, but they are a part of identity. And I think it's important to note that they are only valuable if, when people see them, it identifies in their mind your brand. Now, I just said that they are part of your brand, they are a component, but they are not your brand. Let's use an example. Any Star Trek fans? What's that? Okay, it's the Vulcan hand signal. Okay, I have seen that. Some people do it a little bit differently on how they, you know, how they're capable of holding their fingers. I've seen it drawn a lot of different ways, different. Okay, but when you see it, you know that it's the Vulcan ham symbol. Okay, even though there are variances among it. So it could be. Let's call that a logo. Let's call that a mark. Okay. But if you just know, if you're not a fan of Star Trek, you just know, well, that's the Vulcan hand symbol. And you might know, what does it mean? Their slogan, their catchphrase, live long and prosper. Okay. But if you don't know anything else, you don't know really who the Vulcans are, their brand, for instance. Okay. You might know that they live by a guiding principle of logic. That's a component of the brand, so to speak, in this analogy that we're using. But really, they live long and prosper through always seeking knowledge, always seeking knowledge through logic and exploration. But they seek that specifically. They feel that in order to truly live out their brand, they must look beyond themselves. Therefore, they were sitting in space waiting to see humans achieve warp. And then they made first contact. And their exploration and cooperation with and with humans and other species is part of their live long and prosper. If everybody together has that sense of exploration and curiosity, but carries a logical structure to it together, then that is how knowledge and civilization and societies live on and prosper. Okay? That is their brand. In this case, the Vulcans have always been more focused on that than on the little intricacies of somebody holds their hand exactly perfectly, or you know. Um, so yes, there comes a point where you have to consider logo and color and font and catchphrase, but all of that is, I'm going to use the word pointless unless you have identified a brand and are tying that brand to those things. So the first focus needs to be determining the brand. Who are you as an organization? What are you as an organization? And then getting that to associate with those physical things, okay? And getting people to make that association. If you don't decide who you are and if you don't live that, truly live it, then all this is pointless. Not that you shouldn't always have some focus on this, but if you have no idea what this is, or if you have an idea what this is, but you need to get the organization focused on it, because until they're living it, it's pointless. And then getting society to associate it with this. And that's when the logo says to people, whatever the brand is, when the slogan says to people, whatever the brand is. That's branding. And that's what marketing should be achieving. And I'm not talking advertising, I'm talking marketing, and I'm talking specifically focus on branding. Did that make sense? That made sense. The Vulcan thing. Does that kind of, I think it does. Okay. I just needed to talk that through because, whew, uphill battle, my friend, uphill battle.